Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to link the MS Excel and the MS Word together. The use case here is you have this data in the Excel and you have to generate a report in the MS Word using the data present in the Excel. So I'm going to use this simple data for the demo purpose, but in fact in actual and practical you will have very complex data, multiple columns, right? This is simple for demonstration, so I'm using only two variables for the employee database. All right, let's see how it works, and then later I'll show you what and all I did and what are the things you can do to automate the Excel and of Word linking, right? So I have opened this Word and I'm going to click this load from Excel. So this load from Excel will load the, let me reopen it again. Okay, so as soon as you open this Word, you have to load from Excel. So what it does is it will load the drop down based on the content from this table. So right now it's empty. So if I say load from the Excel, it will load the data as per this table into this drop down. All right, let me see how is it. Yes. So then that's the first point, and the second point is if I select, change the value from this drop down, this value will be changed as per the selection. So I have selected third row, third item. So the report got changed, right? So the important aspect here is the data, whatever we have in the Excel is loaded automatically, dynamically into this drop down. And then when we change the value, the report got generated. I would say this as a report because an ideal example would be a pay slip. So if you have tens of people in your organization and you have to generate a pay slip, you can use this concept and keep the data in the Excel and generate your pay slip in the MS Word. So ideally it's not suited for big organizations because they will have a sophisticated software, but a small scale office where you have less than say 20 or 50 people, definitely this is helpful. You can make use of the Word and Excel for a lot of things, right? So yeah, let me show you how it is done now. So let me open it and show you again. I'm going to add one more round, show you how it changes. Okay, I'm going to save this. Make sure that it is saved, otherwise your data here will not be populated. Open this. So you may notice that here it's a document with macro enabled. So you have to use as a macro enabled Word document. So the first step, load the data from Excel. So this time you should see the 7 available items from the Excel. Yep. Yes, I can see the 7th item. So the 7th item is XYZ, isn't it? Yes. So this is good. It is taking some time because it involves reading and writing of this file. So it is taking a bit time. You can fine tune it. Okay, so let me show you how it's done. So there are two things here. One is the drop down and the load from Excel. So the load from Excel will read the data from, both the control will read the data from Excel, but this one will read the Excel just to get the maximum number of rows. I mean to say, what is the last end of the range. So in this range, the eighth row is the end. So I want to get that row because I want to populate this drop down. So that's all it does. And then loads the data extractor from this into the drop down. I'll show you that first. Okay, this is my macro. The load click is the macro for loading the data. I'm gonna get rid of this. This is was done manually. Okay, to keep it simple. So these are the objects and variables. I think you will understand that. And then this is the drop down. So you have to clear this drop down before running. I mean to say, every time you run this, it has to clear and reload. Otherwise, what happens? Every time you run, it will add up. That means if you run this for the second time, you will see 7 into 2, that is 14 items. So third time, 7 into 3. So to avoid that, you have to clear this using this command, me.drop.clear. Me is an application, drop is an object. This object, and clear is to clear all the items associated with that drop down, right? And then I have two variables to hold the last row and last column. So I have used a different naming convention here. So the last row means the seventh row. So ideally the eighth row in the Excel table, Excel range, right? So I'm not going to use this column. So I was trying something, so I kept it, right? And then next I'm looping through all these 7 values and loading the drop down. So I'm clearing it here and then loading the drop down, right? It should be straightforward again. Okay, that's my first macro to load the drop down, and the second macro is to populate this table, this report here, as per the value selected here. That means if I select 3, I have to get value from the serial number 3. If I select the items 5, I have to get the values for the row 5, I mean the serial number 5, right? So this as a macro, this runs whenever there is a change in the value. So as you can see here, this is an event. Okay, so the drop is the name of the control, that is drop down control, and the change is the event that should trigger when the value gets changed in the drop down, right? Again, these are the variables, and the drop down text is the value at present the drop down contains. So ideally our value should be 5 now because the drop down has 5 as a selected value, right? And then again I'm reading this Excel to load the other data, right? In the first macro I wanted to get the number of rows, but here I want all the details. So I'm gonna open this Excel and then assign the value of a label. So here in my Word I have created 2 labels. So these 2 are labels. You can see that by going into the design mode, right? This is one label and this is one label. Cancel the design mode, and I'm assigning the values from this Word workbook object, right? So you can see here sheets 1, that means how many sheets I have, just one, and indexed as 1 first sheet. And then cells, R is nothing but the variable because I have to get the value based on the selection. So I'm reading this value here and then utilizing that variable here. So R is now for now 5 and then plus 1, because as you can see here, this is the row number in fact, but my serial number is 1 less than that. That means I have to increment my serial number with the corresponding row number of the Excel. So to get the value of XYZ, I have to get the row number as 8. So 8th row is my XYZ content, right? Not the 7. So if you say 7, it will fetch this, not this, right? It's a row value, not the serial number, because as you can see here, it starts from here, but in the first column we have the header, right? So that is how you can link MS Word and Excel together to make it look automatic, dynamic. So these things are very useful when you have a small company with say around 10 to 20 and less than 50 people. You can do a lot of reporting stuff using MS Word and Excel. One example would be a salary slip. So if you have more people, definitely you'll go with a sophisticated software. But if your company is small and you have few people, around 10, 20, 30, the Excel and the Word will come very handy. Okay, that's it for today. Let me show you a demo again. So I'm going to close this. I'm not going to save this. Close this. Yeah. Please note that it's a macro enabled MS Word. Otherwise, it will not work. So this is just a docx. This doesn't contain any macro, but this has a macro. Docm means macro enabled document, right? Okay, as soon as you open the MS Word, you have to load from the Excel. So click load from the Excel. Okay, so it has loaded. Let me delete and show you. So I'm gonna remove this here. Reload it again, but I doubt it will work. Yeah, yeah, I can now do it again. Yep. So I have deleted the last row. Now it's not appearing in my dropdown. Right. So that's all for today. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, do let me know. I'll try to clarify them. See you next time.